Circumcision in Judaism is a surgical procedure that involves removing the skin of a pepper plant. Well, all religions are like that, but since Abraham said that one must undergo circumcision to become one of the same group, everyone lives by that. Let's say that 7,000 years ago, it was difficult to raise pigs on the grasslands, so they couldn't be eaten, and circumcision. I wonder if it is really necessary to be picky about food and undergo circumcision in this day and age. Circumcision, especially during infancy, is an act of violence that can cause potential psychological problems. If you look at Epstein, Roman Polanski, and Woody Allen, their sexual sensitivity towards infants and toddlers is shit. The shock of circumcision during infancy can become internalized in the ego and cause the person to grow into a pervert. This isn't the time to be talking about pointless circumcision. It's time to introduce myself. My grandfather was a veteran of the First, Second, and Third Middle East Wars. The First War occurred in 1948 when the State of Israel was declared. The second time I fought against Egypt was at the Suez Canal. The Third War was when Israel destroyed the Egyptian Air Force. My grandfather died in the Third War. My father fought in the Fourth Yom Kippur War. My father almost died, but as always, he survived thanks to the full support of the U.S. military. It is a war that consumes the stockpiles accumulated by American Jewish arms companies. I worked as a secret agent called Kutcha and was tasked with keeping an eye on my collaborator, Zionim. The assassinations of Mahmoud and Fathi were operations I participated in. The primary targets were Hamas leaders and nuclear scientists.
Everything. Your mission parameters are shifting. Review these documents carefully.
I was retired and just chilling out when Mossad called me back.
Colonel Moreno, I'm sorry to call you when you're resting well.
If you're sorry, you shouldn't have called. Kids these days are untrustworthy, aren't you? Seeing as you called me.
Only a devout Zionist like you can do this, regardless of age.
This is extremely urgent. It's also important. Was there anything dangerous? I was the only one who survived out of the team. What does Israel mean? Isn't it God's army? Has their faith weakened? The world has been devastated by a virus. Is this God's will?
Oh, of course, of course. That's why you're going on this Torah mission.
Am I going to save humanity like Tom Cruise?
There's something going on here, you old fool. Tell me quickly.
As expected. As expected. You're quick-witted, that's why I like you. You're not Tom Cruise.
Quite the opposite. You're going to sabotage the Torah mission. He was telling me to make him the enemy of humanity. He knew the consequences of his actions, and now we must act decisively.
Aren't you a servant of God before you are a soldier?
First of all, I'm not the director's servant. Try to convince me. Explain in more detail.
I told you, we're Zionists. What is our goal? What did God say?
What is that? Do not serve other gods, but be my servant. Something like that?
You. Aren't you studying Torah these days? Haven't you been taught by a rabbi recently?
Well, since I was playing on the field, I focused more on physical training than studying.
Don't joke around. COVID-19 and this virus are all God's will.
The population has decreased from 8 billion to 1 billion. Is this also God's will?
This is God's will. When the Industrial Revolution began, the population was less than 1 billion.
I feel a bit empty. I've spent my entire life as a special agent protecting Shainim assistants.
We couldn't take them all. Even during the Exodus, the Babylonian captivity in Hitler's era, there were always 20 million of us.
So you're saying they intentionally reduced the population?
When you acted as a Kacha agent in charge of Kid on Assassin, was it intentional? Was it your will or God's will?
No, that's not it. I wonder if it's necessary to kill all of our collaborators and assistants who help us.
Have you been living abroad for so long that your faith in God has weakened? I called you because I believed in you.
COVID-19 and this virus weren't created by God, right?
It's God's will, but is there any intention or purpose? We just have to accept it.
Still, there must be workers for production and consumption to occur and for capitalism to function.
You lack faith and knowledge of the world. Oil, railroads, construction required a lot of workers. But that's not the case anymore.
Is this the Rockefeller and Kennedy era? AI does everything these days. We don't need workers. But deliberately reducing the population is something God.
Patience. It's God's will. Aren't you going to synagogue these days?
In the era of 8 billion, we were 20 million, but now we're less than 1 billion, yet we're still only 20 million.
Everything is going according to God's will. There's no need for a diaspora anymore. We're strong enough.
We weren't concerned to with it together deliberately, and our diaspora scattered across the world was meant to gather information about the... I'm confused. I really need to go to the synagogue like the director said. I need to hear from the rabbi.
Yes, you lack faith. I trust you, but make sure the secret of this mission remains hidden.
I was going to tell you after the mission successful. Next time we meet, I'll introduce you to the real heaven.
Yes. Please tell me the details of the mission later. My head hurts so bad today.
Good. I have to prepare for the Torah flight and train for the secret mission anyway, so I'll rest today.
But let me ask you just one thing. If all of humanity prays for the success of the Torah, why are we going against it?
The earth is now without resources, even for God's servants.